are men actually getting better?
Oh, I like this one. That's a good one.
Here's where I'm going. This is where I'm going. So obviously, perfect is June we in June now, right? And so that's men's mental health month. Uh,
Mm,
and
nice.
so I thought it'd be perfect to come into this phase. Uh, it's the it's a critical year for men's mental health awareness. Men die by suicide uh, nearly 4 times the rate of women. Over 6 million men experience depression annually, and most never seek help. Yet the conversation is louder than ever. The question is whether the noise is translating into actual change. So let's get into let's get into this. Let's talk about where you want to go with it. I opened it up. Did anything resonate with you? Of course, I got things I could talk about, but when you hear just that part, what do you hear? What are you thinking? What pops
Man,
up for you?
that's deep. I mean, it's definitely suicide is no joke, and it's not. I think it's a lot more common than we think. To your point, like it's not like so rare or only something that happens in the media or on social media or the movies. Like, no, this is something that's real and that a lot of people are battling. And so, not even just suicide, but just everything on the spectrum up to that point, just battling with different mindsets and just different troubles. And so it's easy, especially nowadays, it's easy to feel isolated and alone in those battles too.
Mm,
So I think that, to your point, like when we was asking those questions in the beginning, I was like, I don't know about those answers. I don't know about those questions. Like I never even thought about that before. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so it's funny, like we so connected. We got the technology to be connected like never before, but we also like more lonely. And so you gotta like you have to you can't ignore that.
So what I'm thinking about is think about this. So for me, I grew so being millennial, like I learned to uh, push through in silence, uh, and therapy. Therapy wasn't really a thing. It was, but you know, not as prevalent as it is today. Like, hey man, go get therapy, and then it's cool. But like,
Right.
I in my 20s, I don't know if I was really talking about therapy like that. That like the way I'm talking to you about millennial to Gen Z to like bro, like as early as you have seeked it, I like that wasn't my story. Like I was just figuring it out, suffering in silence, just navigating, just figuring it out along the way, right? Just hey, it is what it is. And so I'm gonna start with you. All right, the question that I have: when did you first realize something was wrong? How long and how
That's a good
long
one.
before you did anything about it? And you could
Oh,
pick
that's
one
that's
particular topic, like one particular area in your life that was like, man, something is off, man. Let me go get help.
you know, I'm gonna give I'm gonna jump candid in with it. I'm gonna get in my bag with it. Go straight to it. I'm gonna give two answers, but they both speak to the same thing, which is really your nervous system. How are you experiencing? Not necessarily what's happening, but how are you experiencing what's happening? And so um, I would say, like as a Gen Z, especially you being young, being young still, you think that you all grown and stuff, but we still there's so much hormones and stuff that really got hold of us. Like I was
Yeah,
saying earlier, you can't ignore these stuff. You can't ignore these things. Like, you don't got to fall victim to it, but you can't ignore it either. And
right,
so, especially when you're in isolation, you don't know these things. That's why it helps to have like grounded older men around you to be like, it's okay. It's just keep going, just keep going. You're not crazy. Just keep going. Keep aiming for better things. And so when I say I'm gonna give two answers, I'm gonna say specifically I'm gonna say my relationship and my career. Not
Mm,
so when you're striving and you're aiming to do great, you know what I mean? That means not I didn't say good, you know, you're striving to do great, you're striving to do great. And so long story short, you would, you know, I'll start with the work example. Like I'm the type of person where you know, I realize that I'm very sensitive to feedback. So if I have a one-on-one coming up, oh my goodness, like, oh Lord, like the whole day before, I'm like, especially, you know, especially like, you know, weekly one-on-one cadence. We don't have that in school and university. There's no one-on-one. Maybe you go to office hours if you want to, but that's voluntary and you're helping. You know what I mean? Like you're getting help. It's a different environment versus I don't know, I don't want to say corporate America like it's all one thing, but you know what I'm saying? It's just it's a different medium. And so what I've learned is that when you say, when did I notice something was wrong? I would just say the consistency. Because I was noticing, and the same thing with relationships. I was like good or bad. Like even with the good moments, my nervous system is getting heightened. Like I'm walking into the experience thinking I'm walking into the one-on-one, even if I did good work. Like I'm realizing that I'm not framing it as good work. I'm just framing it as like little tasks or like stuff that I did. But then, you
mm,
know, especially in my role now, I would say that like my manager is like you know, they did a great job of bringing me in, involving me early, and you know, giving me great feedback on both on what's good and what I can, you know, what we can improve to make things better. And so I would just say it's one thing to get the feedback. It's another thing to be willing to receive it and work on it and implement it. So that's when those two come together, you know, I would say magic happens. But getting into therapy recently definitely has helped me a lot. And just, you know, as a man, you're so trained to look outwards and focus on making sure that you're taking care of, you know, taking care of everything. And then you might mess around and come last. And something that you always told me, I'm pause here. You always tell me pay yourself first. You've been telling me that since undergrad, since high
man,
school.
oh,
And
that's deep. That's
I used to
deep.
always take that to mean money, like, oh man, yeah, what, yeah, then
Yeah.
put, you know, pay your bills last. But no, that's deeper than money. That's are you are you paying, you know, are you paying your emotion? Are you paying everybody else's emotional bills first and leaving yours last, or just not even being paid at all?
Mm, mm. You know, it's so interesting, man, because as men, we can easily fall into the performative bucket. You know, because you got the emotional, and then you got the performative side, and a lot of times, we can fall into the performative thing, and it's trying to overcompensate on the performative side because you know in society, you know, tough. Hey, don't be crying. Men don't cry. You know, tough it up,
Yeah,
man up. Yeah. And so, and then not to mention, depending on whatever your dynamics is, uh, growing up, like was affection a thing in your household? Like, was it being okay to express what you're thinking, how you feeling, and it don't necessarily have to be soft all the time, right? But it's just like, okay, in this moment, what were you thinking? What feelings were you having?
right,
And just making it like a healthy conversation, like between a father son dynamic, right? Like, okay,
right.
I just want to hear your perspective. You gotta, you know, let's
Mhm.
and being able to feel safe to be able to communicate versus you never talk, like your dad may never talk about it. You may never talk, like you never express your emotions. So you stay inward, and who knows, depending on it was it like a healthy upbringing? Was it a traumatic health upbringing? Was your was the dad even around? And if he was he like around? Like meaning, was he
Right.
present? Was he there? Was he communicating with you? Sure, discipline that comes along with the territory, but like the biggest thing was as a child, did you have the opportunity to express yourself and not have it suppressed? And you know, so a lot of times what happens is we come into adulthood with a lot of suppression, and unresolved things, and and you're bleeding all over relationships and all those things. And at some point, you even yourself, if you have a little bit of awareness, you start realizing like things start repeating, whether it be the way the way you're operating in your personal life, relationships, family members, your career, and what could that look like? You got all these broken relationships, but you the common theme in these scenarios. Like you're the common theme. I'm the common theme. It's like, okay, so that's my like I don't get along with my brother. I don't get along with this person. Okay, that's in the personal family like, but then in your career, you noticing like, hey, like, am I that person that always have beef with people? Like, and but why is that? Where do I get that from? Why am I in this cycle? Oh, in your relationships, am I the one that's like always looking for an argument or always like short tempered, easily
Right.
like I easily get upset when it just was a conversation? It's like, man, you're not even effectively communicating. Like you just went from what they say 0 to 100, and it's like, why are you getting so upset? Like,
He'll crash out.
yeah,
Man.
And so bringing it back, landing it back to the question, when did you first realize something was wrong, and how long before you did anything about it? I would say for me, uh, I knew something was wrong when I had a lot of animosity towards my pops. Like, even if it was semi-justified, but like when you recall and reflect, it's not all bad. Like, I can't speak for anybody else's scenario, but like for whatever reason in our mind, like the parts that were negative, if you would want to say it that way, it's like you kind of grab those, and then it's like you forget all of the positive things. It's like you can't even recall any of that, and you just focus on those negative things. Now, granted, sometimes in your environment, there's triggers that happen where, as you're trying to navigate it and just kind of move past it, maybe there's things still in your environment that's still causing triggers, and it's like the thing that you didn't like, it keeps happening or something, and so you just kind of stay in this cycle. But I would say,
Can I say something?
yeah,
Just
yeah,
briefly. I will say in therapy recently, it's funny, real quick. The therapist
yeah,
was
yeah.
like, yo, for every negative interaction, I'm not saying really calculate it out, but try to get like 3 or 4 good ones in. I ain't saying do go all out, but like it's not 1 to 1. I don't know why it just popped in my head when you
No,
said that.
that's real. No, it's not 1 to 1 at all. And you start to realize those things. You like, man, like, and then you get to a place where it's like, just for my mental health, like I want to move past this. Like for me, like I just want to move past it for me,
Mm-hmm.
just so I can be. If I'm saying I'm dedicated to personal development, becoming the best version of myself, just getting better for me, like, but then I'm holding on to stuff from the past, or it's pissing me off every time I think about it. It's like, brother, you ain't got over it. Like, you haven't got over it. And so, and that's still within you, that's still inside you. And so once I started realizing that, that's when I went and got a combination of therapy and coaching. And it's crazy because like not all therapists and coaches are created equal. I think some of them are just trying to be your friend and get and just run it up and get money. But there are some good ones, right? And with anything, you can always like, what's the one thing I learned in this scenario? Even if you're like, I'm cool on this person. But what's the one you still typically will learn something. And so for me, in terms of a time, like how long, oh man, definitely. I would probably say later 20s, earlier 30s, time frame for me. And then from there, like every person that I've encountered, it's almost like a layer. You know how example, NBA players or how like they realize they don't have the jump shot. like they wanted. So they summertime, they get in the lab, they develop the jump shot, but they pick one thing to work on. Like they work on their jump shot or they working on their free throws, and then they go back to the season, then they work on that. You're like, oh man, they done develop, and then they keep going, and that's time. And so that's how it's been for me. Like it's like every off season in the therapy sessions or the coaching sessions, it's like I can now looking back in retrospect, I can see like the compilation, like the compounding effect of like layers being removed, new skills being developed to be able to communicate more effectively. But then also me kind of like having, I don't want to say like an out of body experience, but like me being able to observe myself and like, bro, you're actually over that, or you're actually in a better space mentally. As a result, it contributed to you. Obviously, I had to do the work, but that is what it is. So all right. So I got something else for you. So, what's the real reason most men never ask for help? And it's not what you think. Like, what's your perspective on that?
Man, I would say it probably just from what I've been learning recently. I think it gets taught in you early on. You just learn not to ask for help. When I say early on, I don't mean like your 20s or your teens. I mean like as a child, a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I don't know, whatever age. If you are not conditioned, that's the word I'm looking for. Are you conditioned to ask for help? Just like some kids are conditioned to ask for help. Hey, you need me to open that toy or that jar, come here, help, ask me. Or if you got questions about the earth and why things are what they are, ask me. Or go ask someone, I think that's part of it. I'm not a psychologist or nothing, but that's
Yeah,
part of
right.
it probably. But also, I mean, just probably, how are you born? Some people are wired differently. So some people could get in that environment and still survive. Some people that might paralyze them. They might really need to go to, that's what we're talking about, therapy, and really peel back the layers like you're saying. But I mean, why do people not ask? You say, why do not ask for help? If that's one piece of it. Another thing is awareness. Do you know that you need to ask for help? Do you know that that's a thing? Like, do you know that that's not a shameful thing too?
No, that's real. No, that's real. Wow, that's real. It's definitely growing up, it seemed taboo. Um, and it seemed like the pray about it method was kind of prevalent in my
Right.
upbringing. Like, hey, God got it. Hey, just give it to the Lord. Pray about it. Just pray about it, and He gonna zap you from heaven, and you gonna be a better person. Without you ain't do no work, you just pray about it, get zapped, and by osmosis, somehow your life improved. And you and I know, or at least I know, also in the good book it says faith without works is dead. And so for me, I've always been like,
Yeah.
okay, what about the work though? Like with the work, okay, the spiritual stuff, okay, I got it, I'm with you. But and that's maybe how I'm wired. What are the order of operations that way that I need to control on my side after I pray? That way there is an outcome that can be somewhat predictable based on all the historical insight information on, okay, if you put this amount of money, if you just consistently put money in this account, it has the potential to grow here. If you invest in therapy, coaching, etc., and you have some specific areas that you want to work on, this could potentially be your outcome. It's no guarantees, but this could be your potential outcome. There's a higher probability of this type of outcome versus this type of outcome. I think really what really bothered me, and it's something that I had to get therapy on too. I had to get therapy on that, bro. That was traumatizing to me, bro. Like to sit there and observe grown adults talking about giving it to the Lord. And it's like it used to be like the smallest of tasks, or the something where it seemed like it's like,
That's funny.
oh, the Lord blessed me with this car. Did He? Like, you just all you needed to have was credit, income, like
and
income,
$5,000.
credit, and some money, like to put the down payment, like, and so it just was interesting that it being like almost like using that language, but maybe that was just how a person can only go left or a person can only go right. What do? You just guard them that side. You make them go to the weak side. And so what I realized is when you put the pressure down or you were asked tough questions, like you would cut off the right because they can't go left, and then it was tight, and it's like, God got it, and it's like, what? Okay, all right, that's interesting. But as a kid, you don't. As a kid, you're observing these things, and you're like, this is off. Something is not right. Why can't it's God plus something? Like it's God, but it's God plus the work. So because God, you working on God, that's the internal. That's the spiritual side. That's the emotional side. That's the emotional bank account and all that. But then it's like there are some directives that you need to do. There are some things that you got to do. And so that was the biggest thing for me. Hey, drop a comment, man, in the chat if anybody resonate with that. I mean, I'm not the only one grew up Baptist, and that a lot of people's experience. And what happens is a lot of times you get so turned off, you don't even want to deal with it no more. Like if that's what y'all doing, let me go figure something else out. Versus actually, maybe it's your adults, your parents, or whoever, they just doing the best they can. They're human. It doesn't make it right. You're just observing, and you're probably getting ready to model what you're seeing as a child if you're not careful. And what I've seen sometimes is people have conflict. They know it's wrong, it's off, but it's their upbringing. And if they turn and they go in another direction, they know that it's going to probably be a lonely path going down that path because they're going down the path of the road less traveled.